Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. Let me continue from where I left in my previous audio presentation. So as you know that he was deprived of the joy of canoeing, boating and swimming because of the haunting fear of water. He couldn't indulge himself in all these activities though his friends indulged themselves a lot. He went with his friends, the excitement was in him, but when the real situation came, he was totally afraid because that haunting fear of water or that hydrophobia had taken full possession of his mind and senses, as already been told to you all earlier. So dear students, let me continue from the next paragraph. I used every way I knew to overcome this fear. He tried many things. He tried many ways to overcome this fear of water, but it held me firmly in its grip. Now, but it was very, very difficult for him because this fear of water held him tightly. He couldn't release himself out of this fear of water. So finally, he decided to learn swimming. Finally, he decided to employ a swimming instructor, or rather to say a personal swimming instructor, and to learn how to swim. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. As been told to you just now, dear students, that finally he decided to swim and he employed a personal trainer to teach him how to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. So he went to the pool 5 days a week and he used to practice rigorously 1 hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. The swimming instructor, put a belt around him. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. Now it was like a crane system. Sometimes it is to come down. Again, it has to be lifted upwards. So I repeat, I went to the pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope, and we went back and forth across the pool. And back and forth mechanism. That means sometimes he used to be down, he used to be put down, then again he used to be uplifted upwards. So this back and forth mechanism he did for long time, for several days to be very precise. I continue, dear students. He held on to the end of the rope, and we went back and forth across the pool, hour after hour, day after day, week after week. It was a rigorous, painstaking process. It was a lengthy process, and this process followed hour after hour, week after week, day after day. So, dear students, let me continue after that. On each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. So, finally, when he indulged in a serious way, on a serious note, to learn to swim, when he used to cross from one edge of the pool to the other side of the pool, that terror or that fear used to take full possession of him. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and I went under. Under means as I went under the pool or underwater, some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. Now, when my swimming instructor used to release the rope a bit, I used to be very scared because my legs used to get frozen. That means I couldn't move my legs because that fear of water used to come back every time. But still, I never quitted. I tried my level best to learn how to swim, though it had taken a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of hard training on the part of the author. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and I went under, some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. After 3 months, slowly and slowly, the tension and that fear reduced a bit. Then he taught me to put my face under water and exhale, and to raise my nose and inhale. Now breathing process is also very important in terms of swimming. So if breathing process of inhale and exhale is not maintained properly, then obviously it will be extremely difficult for a person to swim. So the swimming instructor instructed him to breathe in and breathe out, that is, exhale, getting inside the water, and exhale, and obviously to raise his nose and inhale. It was a simultaneous process, and it was performed by the author, obviously under the guidance of the swimming instructor. I repeated the exercise, that is, exhale and inhale, breathing and breathe out. That process was repeated hundreds of times. I repeated the exercise hundreds of times, bit by bit, that means slowly by slowly. I shed part of the panic that seized me when my head went underwater. So, slowly and slowly, the panic or the fear that had taken full possession of me, that had seized me totally, it was actually decreasing a bit. Or we can say, or it can be said that slowly and slowly he was getting confident. Next, he held me at the side of the pool and had me kick with my legs. Now, the important thing is that obviously exercise of the legs is very important for a swimmer to swim. So, the next thing that the swimming instructor did, apart from teaching him how to inhale and exhale inside the swimming pool, and obviously practicing that back and forth technique of putting him once down and then lifting him up with a belt attached with his body. Now, after all those mechanisms, apart from all those mechanisms, the swimming instructor, next, what he did, he held William at the side of the pool and had him kick with his legs, because the function of the legs is very important. So the leg exercise was being performed. For weeks, I did just that. At first, my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed, and finally, I could command them. Initially, it was very difficult. Initially, it was extremely difficult because he couldn't move his legs properly. He couldn't actually use his legs properly. But in due course of time, the legs or the movements of the legs were possible, and apart from that, he finally could actually command them at ease. That means, though the legs, it was very difficult to move his legs at the initial stage, but later he could command them at ease. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer. So, slowly and slowly, it was a rigorous, lengthy process, but slowly and slowly, with a lot of rigorous training, patience, and hard work, and obviously, a big credit goes to the swimmer also. So, slowly and slowly, he was able to make William Douglas a swimmer, a perfect swimmer. And when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole. And finally, when the entire process was been done, now ultimately he assembled the entire process and made William a swimmer. In April, he said, "Now you can swim, dive off, and swim the length of the pool, crawl stroke." So, finally, in the month of April, it might have taken almost 8 to 9 months. It might have taken almost 8 to 9 months. So, in the month of April, the the swimming instructor had given green signal to William that now you can swim. This is a very important line, dear students. Now you can swim. You can dive off and swim the length of the pool. You can apply whatever strokes you want, whether butterfly stroke or breast stroke. What you can crawl also. That means crawl stroke also. That means finally the swimming instructor told, in the month of April, maybe the year has not been specified, but we can presume after 8 to 9 months of rigorous swimming training session that he had with this swimming instructor, finally the swimming instructor told him that now you are capable of swimming anywhere. So dear students, in this audio presentation I stop right now here. Please listen to this audio presentation, and if there is any doubt anywhere, do let me know. Thank you students. Thank you all.